6 cars DNFing and especially like actual crashing out. So
and you've got the onboard.
We have the onboard from Thomas Ronhaar. He was, in my opinion, the person that caused it all. And we've seen throughout this whole race weekend that Ronhaar was quite aggressive. So let's proceed forward. He was going side by side with Dani Bereznay. And to be fair, at this point, usually this is not a corner where you want to overtake because the track is actually going very, very tight around the left. You can't really see the next upcoming corner, so you usually don't go side by side. Ronhaar doesn't fear that, and in the end, this is actually what caused it. So Ronhaar gets close to the wall, carries still too much speed. You can see he's already understeering, whilst Dani is still trying to give him as much space. They make a bit of contact. You could argue that Dani turned into him, but at the same time, I think this was just not on. They were side by side. It's going to be hard to judge for the stewards, but we've seen throughout this whole weekend that Ronhaar did this couple of times in Bahrain, in Australia, and also in Australia, same thing with Bereznay into the fast speed corners.
How are you calling that, Marcel?
I mean, honestly, looking at this right now, you can actually see Dani makes the initial contact. But it's so tricky.
I don't want to put any more pressure on you, but drivers to my right,
everyone's
drivers
having a look
to my
at this
left,
right now.
They're having a look at the
There's been some choice words being said after watching.
But they didn't mean it. It wasn't aimed at you, mate.
Oh, I thought it was at me.
Like, compared to what we saw in the broadcast,
Right. So we roll through. Let's look at the impact of this.
I mean, like, Ronhaar's trying to correct it and push Dani then wide with the steering.
It does. He turns in first there.
Yes.
And that's,
the
as you say,
correction.
that's the initial contact. It seems like a racing incident.
Yes,
now,
but at
when you
this
see the
point
onboard.
also,
It's
Dani,
a big risky corner though to try and overtake it, isn't
you
it?
don't
Yeah.
do that usually. Like, he could have waited for the straight and go for that one, but they make contact. He's pushing into Dani. Dani's bouncing back from the wall, and Ronhaar can continue whilst Dani is going to crash out. And we will see it from behind now, from Rasmussen's POV. So they are taking the corner at normal speed. Look, this is how they actually see that. And out of nowhere, there's cars and you can't avoid it. It's like impossible. Yeah.
Brutal.
So nothing the drivers could do. That happened for so many of them. Like, look, out of nowhere, we have this, and there's the counter ride. Another one. The other.
and this is a driver, just talking on the Freddie Rasmussen, as we mentioned, Jason, when we looked at the driver standing, this is a driver who just seems to have got caught up in all of the unfortunate. You talked about the RNG, I mean, about a bit of luck. He's had none in this event.
I mean, that was clearly Freddie's fault. Like, he should have just jumped over the other cars, and it's just excuses. If he says he couldn't avoid it, that was just pure excuse. No, obviously not. But also from the outside, we can also look at it again, and we saw it already in the broadcast, but I don't know. I mean,
we caught it there, didn't we? We caught it there in the broadcast.
Honestly,
it seemed as though Ronhaar had gone for an audacious move, which it was. But do the stewards won't take into account that, oh, it's a corner that's dangerous to do it at, right? It's the actual incident itself. They're side by side. It's just an unfortunate and potentially silly move from Ronhaar in the sense of what is he expecting to happen there. One driver had to give way, back out, and they didn't.
Yeah, but we saw this throughout this whole weekend, that Ronhaar, in many of these unusual places to overtake, he's going for the move and expecting the driver to kind of just move out of the way. And